All right, this video is going to be working with adding and subtracting matrices. So in this yellow box is saying two matrices are equal if they have the same order. So if we have matrix A and matrix B, they're equal if they have the same order. So the number of rows and the number of columns. So here's an example. We have matrix A, and we have an element in matrix A is unknown as X. If these two matrices are equal to each other, you can go over to its row and column that matches up, and that X would equal 1. The second element, Y plus 1, corresponds to the element of 5. So Y plus 1 equals 5, and you would solve it. You would subtract 1 from both sides, and you get Y equals 4. And then matrix element Z corresponds with 3. Oh, and then they also have to have the same elements. So here's some rules for adding and subtracting matrices. If you add or subtract matrices, you add their corresponding elements. So for example, here's a matrix adding another matrix. The process you go through is you would add those two corresponding elements together. So 1 plus negative 1 is 0. Then you would add these two corresponding elements together to give you 4. Continue on. These are your corresponding elements. You would add them together and you get 3. Last one. 5 plus 4 is 9. So that's your resultant matrix. So the process you go through is you have to have the same order, and then you add their corresponding elements. Same thing happens when you subtract. You have to have the same order, and then you subtract the corresponding elements. Down below here, if your elements are not the same order, so for example, this matrix A is a 2 by 2 matrix, and then this matrix B is a 3 by 2 matrix, you're not able to add or subtract the matrices. All right, so here's an example. We have a matrix A is a 2-row by 3 column, and another 2-row by 3 columns. So we can go ahead and add those together. So we're going to end up with another 2 by 3 matrix. So you're going to add the corresponding elements together. So 0 plus negative 2 is negative 2. Add 3 and 5 together gives you 8. Next corresponding, 3 plus 5, 8. Continue on. Negative 2 plus 7 is 5. 6 plus negative 9 is negative 3. And then last one. Negative 8 plus 6 is negative 2. So that's your resultant matrix. Next example, now we're going to go ahead and subtract them. So we have a 2 by 2 and another 2 by 2 matrix. We can go ahead and subtract them. So I'm going to write this one out. So negative 6 minus negative 5. So negative 6 minus negative 5. Next one. 7 minus 6. So 7 minus 6. 2 minus 0. And then negative 3 minus negative 4. Then we need to simplify those elements. And our result be another 2 by 2 matrix. So here we go. Negative 6 minus negative 5. Change those signs. You're going to get negative 1. 7 minus 6, 1. 2 minus 0, 2. Negative negative turns that to a plus. So negative 3 plus 4 is 1. So there is your new matrix. Here are some of the properties for addition. There is the commutative property, where you can change the order of the matrices. Associative property, think of that as your grouping. Additive identity, if you add 0 to a matrix, you'll end up with the same. Additive inverse, when you're negating a matrix. On the next video, we're going to focus on scalar multiplication, where you're multiplying a value into all of the elements in that matrix by that scalar.